Welcome, welcome. It is week one of the Women in Weight Mastermind Challenge. Anybody gonna log in with me today? If not, you can watch the replay because this is going to be phenomenal. And welcome to the challenge once again. I hope you are learning a lot of things. I hope it's giving you the inspiration, the motivation, and the guidance to do more, be more, and always go after your more, because that is the number one point of this. I want professional women to go get it. So let me introduce myself. I am Virginia Manning, and of course I am the hostess of the Women in Weight Challenge Mastermind, and welcome once again. I am a mental health therapist. I'm a supervisor. I am an addiction counselor, and I am embarking on this new endeavor of being a prosperity coach to professional women. And yay! I am so happy. I'm so excited. I just can't wait for this entire 6 weeks because there are other phenomenal women who will be hosting this event also with great tips and information about finances, mental wellness, relationships, looking good and feeling good. So I want you all to take advantage of this opportunity because it is going to be phenomenal. Hey, Janice Manning, my sissy. I knew you was going to come through, baby. If anybody come through, it's going to be Janice. And so the purpose of the 6 weeks mastermind challenge is to challenge you to develop strategies and boldness to live your dream life. Every professional woman deserves more. And I want you to boldly declare that more is yours. I developed this community because I have not seen anything close to addressing the wants and dreams of professional women, because if there was, I would have joined it already by now. So let me give you some FYIs before I begin this week's goal setting. And if you have any questions, make sure you put them into the reply. If you're watching the replay, you can submit questions and I will get to them as soon as I can. Or you can email additional questions. I do have some questions that were emailed to me. So at the end of this webinar, at the end of this live, I will address those questions. So I hope you downloaded or saved week one workbook. I hope you have a pen and paper for notes, and I hope you have questions because this is going to be a knowledge-based, intense, goal-setting session to help you get more. Okay, so some background information on goal setting. The word goal setting sounds simple, right? But truthfully, if you are doing it right, it's not so simple. Because with goal setting, many people try to skip that part because they're like, okay, I don't have to brainstorm. I don't have to write this thing out. I know what I want inside of my head and I got it. But if it was that easy, then more people would write them down. But the truth of the matter is that goal setting is like a part of living. It should be something that you do on a daily basis. You should review your goals every day. Actually, I have like several journals with goals in them that I want to accomplish throughout my life. Some might be long term, some might be short term, but I faithfully carry this around. It is as important to me as my cell phone. Like if I lose my journal of goals, I probably would lose my mind, just like I would lose my mind if I lost my cell phone. So the journaling and keeping goals in your journal, hey Nicole, is very, very important. And your goals are important because guess what? You are important. Professional women are often overlooked and set aside as if your dreams and your desires don't matter. And mostly because, guess what? Professional women, we are strong, right? We can basically handle anything, and people see us with our strong front on and that we can do anything. So the expectation is that we are strong. And so we try to meet those expectations, and so we leave our own personal more, our own dreams and everything behind. But no. And that's why writing out your goals and nurturing them are so important, because it makes you keep your dreams, not everybody else's dreams and thoughts and what they want you to do, at the forefront, right? And you put yours on the back burner. But you need to keep your dreams in the spotlight. You need to write them down. You need to have them accessible all the time so that you can know that your dreams and your more is just as important as the other people's dreams and aspirations or that they have placed upon you are important. So keep your stuff at the forefront. Okay, so I'm going to go through my tips for goal setting. and then answer some questions, because I do have someone submitted some questions earlier. So I do have some questions to go through. Submit comments, questions, give me some hearts, or anything else that you want to do throughout this training, this live training, and I'll respond as best as I can. And I appreciate it, but if you're not on the live, then you do have to watch the replay, because it's going to be a lot of information and you don't want to miss it. So first, let me go through the workbook. I have it. I downloaded it to my phone. So the workbook is phenomenal, and it addresses goals 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, you know, if you should have way more goals than 4, but for purposes of keeping space on this paper, you know, if you can see it, my goal set, and I keep it on my phone. I download it to my phone. And I want you to know that with your goals, you also have to keep in mind that you need to maintain balance, because sometimes people will focus on one goal and let that one goal just be overbearing and overwhelming. But you should have more than one goal that you basically kind of balancing and working on, so that you can have some smoothness and some consistency in your life. Like, for example, if you had looked at the example goal setting in the group, there was something about traveling was a goal, family time, building your business, all of those things. So you should have at least basically 4 components, different components that you want for your goals. But don't work on just one. So the norm should be that you're not working on just one all the time. Sometimes you may need to work on one more than the other one, because like in my instance, when I'm working on this challenge, of course I had to work on it more than my other goals, because at this moment that's the priority. But my norm is that I'm working on all 4 of my goals: the traveling, building my business, family time, all of those things consistently at one time. So remember, balance is important. Another part of the workbook is a goal setting journal, because it is important for you to process the things that you're going through while you're on your endeavor of mastering your goals. So you should always make it a habit to reflect, refresh, and remind yourself of what you're working on and some of the struggles that you're going through, some of the things you may need to help you get through it. Journaling those things out, writing those things out is very, very important in processing. That's why writing goals out is important, and journaling about your feelings, thoughts, your struggles, who you can have your support system. Those things are important for you to write out. And then in the workbook, week 1, goal setting, the 3rd sheet is the Women in Weight Planner. And it's just an additional resource for you to plan out some goals for the week, a checklist, and some reminders or notes. And you can use that one and refurbish it throughout the week. And then the last page, of course, is notes. And so here are my 3 goal setting tips that will push you to be bold. Number 1 is that you need to be patient. Hey, Miss Bonita, thank you for joining. Make sure you submit any questions that you may have at the end or during it, and then I'll be sure to address it so that we can get your needs met. And then at the end of the session, I'm going to answer questions. So tip 1 of goal setting to push you to your boldness is that you need to be patient. That is the number 1 problem with a lot of people, is that they're not patient. They think, okay, I've been working on this thing for 1 month, 2 months, 1 week, however long you've been working on your goal, and they think that it should be, you know, coming into manifestation just like that. But sometimes what you have to think about is that the anxiety and worry is real, and you need to be patient. But you need to kick in those coping strategies when you're planning. And if you practice being bold when you're working on your goals, then you know what? You need to know that you need to have a timeline, and you need cushions for mistakes. That's a part of being bold. It's like, I'm bold enough to know that I'm working on what I need to work on, and I'm not looking at what other people are doing. I'm not worrying about if they think that I'm being successful or if I'm finishing the goal that I set before me. But boldness means that you have patience to know that what you're doing is working, and that when it's time for it to happen, it will happen. But if you're working on it, you know that it's going to happen. So don't give up. Continue working on your goals and keep on journaling, processing your thoughts and feelings about your goals, and they will come to manifestation. But you have to stand strong. You have to maintain it. And for next things that we're being patient is that you should have no limits on your goals. Goals are just time-based, but they shouldn't be limited. You should have as many goals as you want. You should have a timeline for those goals, and your timeline should be based on where you are in life, right? Because sometimes you want certain things in life, and it's just not possible within the timeline of your life at that moment. And I use myself for an example because I've always wanted to travel. That's been my lifelong goal since I was probably 20 when my kids were younger. But I knew that at that moment in my life, with my kids being young, they're in school, that traveling really wasn't on something that was going to happen at that very moment. Did I ever give up on my goal? Absolutely not. But I knew that that goal was always going to be there. And at that moment in my life, I was working on the specific goal that I was working on that was going to get me to that long-term goal. So first of all, sometimes you have to focus on your short-term goal, which could be school, making more money at work, raising your family, or anything like that. You have to get those short-term goals underway before you can even make sure that those long-term goals manifest. And it doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that right now, at this point in your life where you are, that goal right now isn't going to be able to come up. But don't give up on your goal. You just work on it little by little and do whatever you need to do for your goal to work out. Be patient. Okay, that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is be persistent. So which kind of links me to my example about never giving up on my possibility for traveling, because you know what? I had to be persistent. I knew that one day I was going to be able to travel the way that I wanted to. I was going to be able to see the world, but I just had to be persistent. I first of all had to finish school. I had to make sure my kids were good, but it took a lot of stamina and strength to maintain the course for my long-term goal. And that's a part of being bold. You have to be bold enough to know that, hey, I have the strength, I have the stamina. I just have to maintain where I'm at now, because sooner or later, my long-term goal is going to happen. It may happen sooner than you think it is, and it may happen a little later. But the point of it is that you see the end to what you're working on, and that's very important. And so never give up. It takes a lot of stamina and strength to maintain course for long-term goals. It takes boldness and conviction of knowing that as a professional woman, you deserve to remain in belief for your goals and what your dream life is. You deserve it. So many times professional women are put on the back burner because we have too much strength, too much resilience. We're always putting everybody else's dreams and desires and stuff before ours. And so then it makes you internally feel like a failure. You don't probably say it or anything, but then you do feel like a failure because, hey, I'm not able to accomplish my goals, but everybody else is getting their goals accomplished, but I'm not getting my goals accomplished. So number 1 is to be patient. Number 2 is to be persistent. And number 3 is to be purpose-driven. For most people, being purpose-driven is a struggle because they think that what they have and what it's supposed to look like and feel like should be aligned with somebody else's life. And that's not what purpose-driven is. Purpose-driven comes through your trials, your struggles that you have endured throughout your life. Right? Those struggles and challenges, they have meaning. Okay, you just didn't go through certain things in your life because, it was time to be tortured or to not have what you want. But those struggles and those challenges that you experienced in life, they are your purpose. And I don't know how many people functioned with making their purposes come through, but when you just reflect on your life and you reflect on the things that you went through, you have to know that those things were not in vain. The things that you went through, and I'll use an example. Let me pull one out of the sky. So say you were a victim of domestic violence. And so as an adult, you probably got out of the situation after you've had to endure all of the torture and the heartbreaks of domestic violence. So now you're at a point where you're wondering why you had to go through all of those things and why that person treated you that way. Well, that's your purpose. You can use it several ways. This is just one example, but you could become an advocate for domestic violence. You can open a domestic violence shelter. You can, just advocate for domestic violence and help women know that what they're going through, they're not alone. There's other things that can help them in life, things that you went through. You could be an advocate for them, help them so that they don't have to go through the hardships that you went through. And so that's how you develop a purpose-driven life, is that you think about the struggles and the challenges that you experienced in life, and you use those things in your future life as part of your goals so that you can help others. And it serves several purposes, like this whole goal setting thing. I mean, I could go on forever about goal setting and how to do it right so that it can help you feel more purposeful and to help you get more out of life. Because that's pretty much how I've lived my life for a long time, is that everything I've been doing, even up until this challenge, has been purpose driven. And I'm so happy that I did it, because I feel like I'm being a blessing to other women, because for so long, it took me a long time to develop boldness and strategies to get to where I want to be as a professional woman. And I thought about it, and I'm like, why did I have to go through all of this to become the person that I am, or to have the things that I want now? But I want to help other women so they don't have to go through all of the struggles that I went through, all of the roadblocks. That professional woman's glass ceiling, that thing is real. And especially for black women, no shade, but especially for black women, we have it like 3-4 times harder, because we're trying to make sure that our kids in our own household don't go through the things that we went through. And therefore, you start putting your own goals and dreams on the back burner. But no, your life should be purpose driven, so that your goals should be purpose driven. It helps you to fulfill your destiny of what you want out of life. And a lot of people, they try to go after the money. But let me tell you, if you go after your purpose and you do what your purpose is in life, the money will come. And I'm a living testimony. Sometimes people make me feel like I make it seem easier than what it is, but believe me, it wasn't easy. But I developed boldness and strategy. So of course, I guess I make it look easy, because I use those strategies and I use that boldness that I have now to get what I want out of life. And so guess what? If you have that purpose down, you already have the blueprint. But you have to strategically set those goals into motion so they can manifest into your dream life. And your goals are sometimes hard to achieve because they don't line up with your purpose. That's why it's so hard, because you're trying to fight your purpose. Like, you've already been destined to do certain things. But people make it so hard, and they make their goals unachievable because they're trying to line their life up for something that is not even theirs. Right? Testimony time. But you have to, you have to really look at your life, and you have to analyze it. People, I'm telling you, goal setting is hard, and people don't want to do it, because if you do it right, it is hard. But I tell you, the end results of true strategic, bold goal setting will get you to where you're trying to be. You will achieve those goals if you just use the strategies and the tips and the tools. Most of the ones that I've given you today, and I'm pretty sure you have some that's been working successfully for you. But if you put all of those together, if you be patient, if you be persistent, and if you be purpose driven, your goals will come to manifestation. You will be living your dream life of more, and you will be satisfied. Okay? And I'm not saying be conceited. Don't still look out for family members. Don't look out for your job or none of that stuff. What I'm saying is that you do need to put yourself first, along with the other people and the other goals that you have that you're trying to help other people with. Those things should be just as important as other people's. But be patient, be persistent, and be purpose driven. Because setting up your goals without the right strategy and boldness is why you have those worries, fears, and doubts. Those things that's keeping you from having more. Those things that you feel like, why can't I do this? Why am I not enough? What happened to this? Oh, no, I'm not good enough for this and that. That's because you've been setting your goals up the wrong way. Your goals need to be strategic, and they need to show boldness. Okay? So strategy is a process. Okay? You have to work your goals in order for them to work and get you more. So here is an ABC strategy. So A, assess and adjust your goals as needed, as many times as needed. Don't feel like, oh, I'm failing because I have to go back and relook at this goal. I have to change this. I have to fix this. I have to extend my deadline. That is not failure. That is working smart. Okay? You're not giving up on your goal. You're not saying, oh, I'll never be able to do this. You're just being realistic about it and just saying that, hey, at this moment, this goal, I'm going to keep working on it. But at this moment, I need to put some other things in step to help me get to this goal. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. So that's A of the strategy, is to assess and adjust your goals as needed. The B, believe you are capable. You already have everything inside of you that you need. But self-doubt is a professional woman's worst enemy. Even when you're on the right track. If you're on the right track and then you have that one little smidgen of self-doubt that you're like, no, was that right? No, did I do that right? Maybe I should have went this way. Maybe I should have went that way. You are going to kill your dreams. Self-doubt will make you give up. Don't be contemplating. Just go back and reprocess what you're doing. If you think that something that you're doing is not aligned with your goals, just stop. That's the part of that journaling. Stop, reflect. Just think about where you're at, what you're doing, and what you need to do to keep on track. You may need to change some stuff up, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're being smart about your goals. So the C is complete your action steps. No half-stepping, ladies, or expecting things to work out when you're just doing them halfway, okay? Don't get halfway through and quit because you feel like you don't see the end. As I said before, it might not just be the time for it to happen where you're at right now in your life. That doesn't mean your goal isn't going to come through. It just means like right now, it's just not feasible. So let me work on what else I need to work on to make this goal happen in the long term. So have faith. The finish line is coming. So that was 2 mouthfuls, probably 3, 4 of information, but I enjoyed sharing this with you to help you get your more. So let me look through and let me see if I have some comments or something. Let's see, I have. How do you download the workbook? It is in the group. It should be under files, Bonita. And if you go under the files and look under the workbook, look under the files in the group, you should see something that says workbook week 1. And then you can download it from there. You click on it and it should download. I don't know if you're doing it from your phone or a computer. But either way, it should download once you click on that. It's under the files in the group. Hey, Melvina. Nicole said, assess, believe, and complete action steps. Yes, girl, that strategy will get you there. Amen. Yes, in the name of Jesus. So let me see. So what's next on the... So I had some questions that were submitted for Tawana. I don't think she's on right now, but I'm going to address the questions because she can always come back and look on and see that I answered the questions. So she did good. She had a lot of questions and I loved it. I love those questions, but some of them I responded to and I told her that some of them I'm going to leave for the other women on the next week's to address because she had some questions about finances. She had some questions about relationships. She had some questions about how to be confident. So I'm going to leave that for the other women's on the other weeks. But I'm going to address the questions that she had for me relating to action planning and goal setting. So, and I love that she said she has 3 beautiful young ladies and all are very smart and ambitious. And she said, little do they know, mommy had and still has dreams too. Yes, baby, keep those dreams coming. Sometimes you have to be sidetracked because you have to make sure your family and your kids are good, right? But you should always have your dreams on the same line. See, these are the kids and these are you. We're going to get our stuff done together, honey. So little do they know, mommy. So her question that I'm going to answer says, this will increase my salary. Okay, so she's a therapist also. She says she's a LPC as a rehab counselor. And she asked for something about finances, so I'm going to let the finance guru answer that on January the 24th. And then she says, the question for me is that, because I'm an LPC, so her question is LPC state by state or nationally recognized? And so from what I've seen, Tawana, is that LPC, any licensures will be state by state. So you do have to refer to the licensure board in each state, and you probably can go online and Google the licensure board in whatever state you're referring to, and they will give you a list of requirements or recommendations that they have for you to become licensed in their state. Because I myself, I've looked into licensures in other states, and I've heard stories from other people of how licensure works in other states, but the best practice is to refer to that specific state. And if all else, if it's kind of not self-explanatory, then you can always call and they will answer your questions about licensure in that state. Okay, so another thing that she says is that I'd love to travel more and get with travel groups in order to pay for and take my girls. Any suggestions? So then I'm going to kind of leave that one to the finance speaker on the 24th. But for me, as far as traveling, you know, if you Google, there are strategies to traveling more efficiently, right? There's times when you should buy a ticket. There's times when you should book a flight. There's times, so there's strategy behind that that could help you and your girls with taking trips that could fit your budget. Also, you have to plan ahead. So sometimes you have to kind of like already know what time or months or that you want to travel, and you have to think ahead and plan ahead with certain things, no matter how far ahead it is. That's a part of that goal setting too, is that you have to plan ahead, and then that long-term goal, but within that short-term goal, you have to have little bitty goals to get to that long-term goal. And so another questions that she had for me, yeah, that's about it. That's for me, but I have other ones for LaDonna Marie. So this is our next lineup, our schedule for our next lineup. So on week 2, this is week 1. I'm so excited that we have launched off this week with goal setting. I hope you have enjoyed the preview. But now we're into our week 1, and I started it off with this goal setting because I want you to have those goals in mind throughout the whole 6 weeks, okay? So that when these ladies are presenting their information that's going to help you get a little farther along in your goals, I want you to already have those goals in place and maybe thinking of how you need to work on rearranging those goals or any advice that you need within those goals. Malvina said, how do you integrate your more into the now? So that's a part of the goal setting, Malvina. So say you have a goal. I don't know exactly what your goal would be. If you could be more specific, you can even send me an email and I'll try to address it in the group. So say that my more, like I said, my more is to travel. I've been having that goal since in my 20s. So I know I want to travel, and I know what times or dates I have off. You know, whatever type of work you do, you should already know kind of like some dates you have off if you have vacation time or whatever. But then you know what it is, what you want to do, and you have a deadline, right? It may be 1 week, 2 months, 3 months, whatever. So how you integrate it into your now is that you start working on it little by little. And then it could be this little that you're working towards your goal and you accomplishing something, it's still getting towards your goal. Okay, no matter, sometimes people undermine the little bit of progress that they're making because they say, oh, I'm not all the way to the end. You're getting there. And you know that you have to have these little steps to get there. What they say, Rome wasn't built overnight. So yes, you do have to work on little chunks of whatever, little by little, to get to where you are. And I hope that answered your question, how to integrate your more into now. If not, let me know, or give me a little more information on what you're saying about how to integrate your more into now, Malvina. Okay, so week 2 is going to be about amazing mindsets to try right now, and we're going to have the guest speaker LaDonna Marie. She's going to be on January the 14th. Week number 3, we're going to discuss some professional trends for 2020, and Drake Lake is going to be the speaker, the money manager. She's going to be on 124. Week 4 is going to be look good, feel good, how to have a winning attitude. And that week, our guest speaker is going to be Nicole Delmore on 130. Week 5 is going to be signs you might need to check your relationship, and we're going to have Kimberly McGowan that week as our guest speaker. And then week 6 is going to be things your habits don't do for you, and I'm going to be the one closing out that week. And so yeah, so any more questions? Let me see who came in that I didn't see. Tawana, am I saying your name right? I hope so. It's such a beautiful name. Tawana, Benita, I welcome y'all. Thank you for addressing. I was in with a friend. That's fine. I hope I addressed your questions. Yes, thank you, Melvina, for emailing me the rest of your questions. I am a VR counselor. What is VR? I don't know what VR means. Hey, Kia, you have any questions? Ladies, y'all can look at the replay if you are just getting in. I just ended my goal setting tips. I gave some goal setting tips about how to be patient, how to be persistent, and how to be purpose driven. And then I gave the ABCs to strategies for goal setting. But don't underestimate the power of goal setting, I'm telling you. But I will tell you, I'm going to be honest. Goal setting, if it's easy, you're not doing it right. Because you are worth a lot more than what you or whoever, or if you've normally been putting in a little bit by just writing your goals down and then bam, that was it, you know, when they're going to happen. Goal setting is way more intense. It's work, but it's worth it because it helps you to manifest your goals. It helps you to see your goals step by step. Okay, it is work. I'm going to be honest with you. But I love it because after you do it for so long, it doesn't seem like work anymore. It seems like a normal part of your life. Like, I want this, bam. I want that, bam. It's done, bam. Next goal, bam. You know, so it's just like, now it's just like a normal part of my life. And sometimes I have to sit back and reflect and see where my growth is because I'm just hitting these goals so much to sometimes, you know, my progress is I'm moving faster than my progress, but it's there. And so sometimes I'll be like, dang, I did finish this already. Like, bam, and then next goal, bam. So, you know, you just have to be persistent and you have to go for it. You know, more, if you want more, you got to put in the work and it's worth it. But you don't have to be fearful. You don't have to worry. You don't have to doubt it. You just have to have strategy and boldness to know that you're able to do it. And you can do it. But sometimes, you know, depends on the type of lifestyle you live and the people you surround yourself with. Sometimes it does seem impossible. And sometimes it does seem like you're putting everybody before yourself. And sometimes we do as professional women. But, you know, you don't have to. That's the thing with that professional glass ceiling is that people have you believing and thinking that you're supposed to forget the stuff that you want and just focus on everybody else's. Why I can't focus on mine at the same time I'm focusing on yours? That's called balance. So balance has a lot of different components. People, you know, don't know all the different components of balance, but balance has a lot of components within your life, you know. So let me see before I end this. Love this. Hey, Janice. Y'all give me some hearts and stars. Oh, vocational rehabilitation. Okay, because Nicole, I think you in that type of field too, right? What state, Melvina? Yeah, she is. So yeah, Melvina, you might want to connect with Nicole because she's a vocational rehabilitation counselor too. So that'll be a good connection for you, for y'all to bounce ideas off of each other about that type of counselor. And so, any final questions, comments? I had so much fun. I enjoyed you all being on today. This group has been phenomenal. I love the question and the feedback, and I love the interaction. And that just lets me know that you are dedicated to more and that you are ready for more. And guess what? We have more weeks to go for more information and more ways for you to get more. Okay, so I'm going to sign off. Peace and prosperity. I will see you later in the group with more motivation, inspiration. Send me some emails. Respond to this live if you have more questions that you thought of, some additional aha moments. Any way you want to. If you can hit up one of the other guest speakers if you want to. I'm pretty sure they're willing to answer any questions that you have. I pretty much gave you their expertise on the agenda, or you can wait until it's their respective time and then address the questions when it's their time to present. But hey, I hope I was awesome, but I know they're gonna be awesome because you know what, I have a special story of how I met each one of those women, because I wouldn't just give you anybody. I'm gonna give you some people that's gonna be authentic, that's gonna be ethical, and that has real experience in these areas that's gonna help you to your more. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the 6 weeks, and always see you in the group. Be blessed, be peaceful, and go after your more. Bye.